Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Samasta Jana Kalyani Nidatam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Satgurum Brahma Viparam. Om Pathaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavatam Narayana Swayam Vyasena Jagatitam Puranamunina Natti Mahabharatam Advaitam Vidavarshini Bhagavatim Vaishakashadhyayini Ambatvamanusandadami Bhagavati Bhagavadveshini Yam Brahma Varunindra Rudramartaram Surmanti Yasvai Vede Sangapadakram Svajare Gayanti Yam Samaga Jnana Vastikatadgatena Manasa Vashyanti Yam Yogina Yasyantam Navidusura Surayana Devaya Tasmai Namaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha. So we are beginning the 17th chapter, lesson number 26. 16th chapter ended by saying that whoever acts by their own whims and fancies without following the scriptural guidance, yah shastra vidhim pursujya vartate kamakaraka nasa siddhim avapnoti. That person will not attain any siddhi. Na sukham na parapati, no happiness, no moksha. And so the last verse said that tasmat shastram pramananti, follow the scriptures. In everything where we need to know what to do, what not to do. Karya karya vyavasthitam. And having known the scriptural knowledge, having gained the scriptural knowledge, then act according to that. So now 17th chapter begins with this question of Arjuna. This chapter is also called as program yoga. We have so many yogas. Karma, Bhakti Yoga, Raja Yoga. This is a daily program yoga. Because it speaks about the most basic things like diet, speech, charity. So much of practical guidance. The whole chapter is based on these points: faith, diet, Yagna, tapas, dan, and Om Tat Sat. So let us see what is the question of Arjuna. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. Atha Saptadashodhyayah. Atha Saptadashodhyayah. Arjuna Uvacha. Arjuna Uvacha. Ye Shastra Vidhimutsrijya. Ye Shastra Vidhimutsrijya. Yajante Shraddhayanvitaha. Yajante Shraddhayanvitaha. Tesham nishtha tu ka Krishna. Tesham nishtha tu ka Krishna. Sattvamaho rajastamaha. Sattvamaho rajastamaha. So he says those who act without clarity about spiritual knowledge, but with faith, vartate shraddhayamrita, tesham nishtha tu ka Krishna. What happens to them? Sattvamaho rajastamaha. Sattvik, rajasik, tamasik. What is their condition? What is the result that they will get? So there are these four types of people. Those who don't study and follow the scriptures. About them, Bhagavan said in the previous chapter, they get a lot of confusion. They go through a lot of difficulties. Then there are people who study and understand and live the scriptures. That's the other, those who are the seekers, who are following. A question of Arjuna is, those who study and understand but don't live because of their own attachments, etc. So knowledge is there, but application is not there. So one knows what is not good for a person, one indulges. Like Guru, he knows what is the scripture. He said, Janami dharma, nachame pravritti. I know what is right, but I can't engage. And I know what is wrong, but I cannot disengage. Question of Arjuna is not about this person. Question of Arjuna is about the fourth person, they who don't know the scriptures, but they act out of faith. They do seva, they do upvas, they do vrata, they do all festival celebration, everything, but they don't know what the scripture is saying. What happens to them? With faith they are doing, not in the way in which it is prescribed. So, suppose one is doing Ekadashi Vrat. One doesn't know how to do the Ekadashi Vrat as given in the scripture, but one is doing. One goes on Mondays to Shivji's temple, or one does any kind of vrata, upvas, anything, any austerity also, meditation. So one who does not know the scripture but is not living by whims and fancies of the mind, he is attempting to live in whichever way the person has come to know. So many people, they go to yatra. How a yatra is done, what should be chanted there, what kind of ritual can be done there, they may not know, but they are going with faith. So a lot of people come in this category, which is fourth one, where they don't know the scripture, they are not trying to act just as per whatever they feel like doing. Sincerely they are trying to know the Lord, trying to attempt to master the mind. So the question of Arjuna is, what happens to these people? Those who know and they are attempting to live, that is very clear. Those who know but they are not attempting to live, there also the person falls. Those who know and they are living by their own whims and fancies, there also the person falls. But what happens to these people, that is the question. Now let us see what Bhagavan answers. As we see throughout the Gita, Bhagavan doesn't give answer in black and white. He makes the person think. So when Arjuna said that there are people who act without knowing the scripture but with faith. So now what is that faith and how that faith is of three types, etc. that he will start now. So that's the question. Those who, setting aside the injunction of the scriptures, perform with faith, what is their condition? Now let us see. Trivichi Bhagavan Uvacha Trividha Bhavati Shraddha Dehinam Sa Svabhavaja Sattviki Rajasi Chaiva Tamasi Cheti Tam Shunu. This is Trividha Bhavati Shraddha. There are three types of Shraddha. Sattvik, rajasik and tamasik Shraddha. Dehinam Sa Svabhavaja. The invader of this body has faith. Sattvik, rajasik and tamasik faith. In fact, he goes on to say that there is nobody who has no faith. So now faith does not mean that there is no need to study a scripture. It's because that person has not got exposed or some opportunity has not come, the person is not able to live up, but is doing sincerely. That is the question here. This doesn't mean that I will do everything by faith, so I don't want to study, it is okay. No. This is for those. So three types of faith, sattvik, rajasik and tamasik. What is important is in different aspects of life, if our faith is sattvik, then the life is sattvik and then we transform. 14th chapter we saw about the three gunas. Now, he says faith, dehinam sa swabhavaja. Faith of each one is according to one's nature. If my nature is very dull, then my faith will be tamasik. My nature is to be aggressive, faith will be rajasik. Nature is to be peaceful, balanced, faith will be sattvik. Depending on the nature is faith, and depending on faith, the nature also transforms. So they both have a deep connection in that sense. So dehinam sa swabhavaja. Now, one thing is, just because there is a swabhav does not mean one cannot put an effort and change that. So, if today my faith is in tamasic things, in rajasic things, by my effort I can bring it to sattvik aspects. And in that, knowledge plays definitely a big role. So, when Bhagavan says here, what is the condition of this? He doesn't say the condition of this person will be that they will get or they will not get what they desire. He explains what is the sattvik, rajasic and tamasic faith, and according to that will be the result. That's why he goes on to say in the next one that sattvanurupa sarvasya shraddha bhavati bharata. The next line, the word sattva, in verse number 3, sattvanurupa sarvasya is, sattva does not mean sattva guna here. Sattva there means the mind or the nature. As per the nature is the faith of that person. Shraddha mayoyam purusha, a man is what his faith is, yoyat shraddha sa eva sara. A man is full of faith, a man is what his faith is. That's what this means. So there is nobody who doesn't have any faith. Only thing is, where have we put our faith in? Some people have put it in money, some people in position, some people in power, some people in one's own capabilities. In different things one puts one's faith. So there is nobody who doesn't have faith. Because we equate faith only to God. But faith is an inner source of strength. Confidence can be there in ourselves. The word faith, sometimes we equate it to confidence. Have faith in yourself means have confidence in yourself, have strength. But many times people relate it to their religion or to God alone. Faith. But he says here that everybody has faith. Shraddhamayoyam purusha. Even the atheist has faith. In what? In logic, in science, in rationality. So in general we are using the word faith. So Bhagavan is saying that everybody has faith. But one important aspect to understand about faith is faith required in the known? Yes or no? No?
No.
Yes? Believe in the known, faith in the unknown. In both we require faith. Known and the unknown, both.
God is unknown. You have faith in the future.
Okay, God is unknown, I must have faith in God, fine. But then what I know, in that do I need faith?
Power, money, the people are having.
Yes, you need faith in what you know.
You may need belief, you may need trust.
And you got to have faith, because if it's the future, then you got to have faith. Something pertaining
But
to
that is unknown again, no? Future is unknown. So faith is generally required only for what is not perceptible. What is perceptible, for that you require belief and trust. You trust that your driver will bring you safely here. Your cook will cook properly. The barber, if he is cutting your head, or not head, sorry, hair, will not cut your head. Trust is required here. Faith is a very deep quality. It is that because of which the mind has the ability to know the truth. absolute truth. It is always required in the unknown, what is not perceptible. Especially that which is very subtle, which is beyond the body, mind, intellect, there the existence which cannot be objectified. Really speaking, faith is required only for that. And that's why one says that Vishwas in everybody, but faith in one. That is the supreme truth. So faith is required to accomplish the goal, especially when the goal is the spiritual goal, which is subtle. Adaptation of this we can apply in our material life if we want to, that is okay. But when we speak at the spiritual level, then faith is that which takes a person ahead in the spiritual path, because unless there is faith in the existence of the goal, that there is something beyond the body, mind, intellect, one will not even attempt to know it. The material goal and other things in the world is still tangible, meaning it is graspable by the mind. This truth is not graspable by the mind, because it cannot be seen, you cannot feel, you cannot think, it is beyond all the three. But yet it is by nature. So faith is absolutely crucial for that. And it is the inner source of security and strength. And when we say security and strength, we mean here lasting security and strength. Money also gives some security, but only financial security. People give us some maybe social security. We feel socially secure, we have people, we have those who are loving us, who will take care of us, all that. Each of them have one limited aspect of faith, one limited aspect of security. But when we have faith in the Supreme, it includes everything else. Because the Lord takes care of all aspects of our life, and He alone takes care actually. So faith becomes inner source of security and strength, and becomes also source of fearlessness. Because when future is uncertain, faith is absolutely crucial that whatever comes will come by His grace, I will face it. So faith is something which everybody needs. And the faith in the Supreme is what gives us that absolute fearlessness and courage to face life without getting shattered. So many times we say, no, my faith got shattered. Faith actually cannot get shattered. What gets shattered is my belief. Either it was blind, I did not think through it, or it was weak, that a challenge shattered it. Otherwise, faith doesn't get shattered at all. A person who has faith is a very, very strong person. So one has thought through properly, like Prahlad had faith, Vibhishan had faith, Sitaji had faith, all of these examples. Many examples otherwise also one can take. Gurudev had faith in the masters, in the scriptures, in his Sadguru. Complete faith. So, when we understand this, that there is a need of faith in everyone, and we have to change the direction of faith, that's all. So one has faith in oneself, God, Guru, scriptures. They appear four, but actually they are one only. That's why I say faith is in one. Beautiful shloka says, Ishvara Gururat Meti Murti Veda Vibhati Yomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Mortayena. Ishvara, Guru, Shastra, they all are one from the absolute standpoint. When we see one only manifesting as four. So that faith in one manifests as faith in four at a seeker's level and helps one to realize the oneness, absolute oneness. So now this kind of faith is the strongest one, which is the sattvik faith. So what exactly is faith? We have done this in 4th chapter, if you remember. When Bhagavan spoke about faith in that end portion of the 4th chapter. Shraddhavan labhate jnana. Person who has Shraddha is the person who will gain knowledge. So Gurudev defined faith as belief reinforced with conviction is faith. That conviction which we gain through logical thinking, experiential truth in our life or in the lives of other people. So it begins with a belief and slowly transforms into faith. And that's why Gurudev said faith is to believe in what you do not see And the result of it is we will see what we believed in. And that's why faith is required in the impersonal. So everybody requires faith. It is the deepest layer of one's life actually. As my faith is, so will be my vision of life. So when the third verse, Bhagavan says that Shuddhamayoyam Purusha, a man is what his faith is. So this is one aspect of faith. You can listen to this verse.
Shuddha. Everyone in the world has got belief. A couple, almost a couple or 4 5 people has got faith. Everyone has got belief. Even the atheist has got belief in something beyond. He may not accept it as God, but he will have to say supreme intelligence is behind the universe. Because he did not make this universe, nor did his father or his mother. Thus everybody has got belief, but not faith. Belief is in motion. I believe in God. It is in motion. Emotional belief will break. When more than one or few tragedies come one over the other. Your business going down, your partner wants to separate, your wife sick, son had an accident, 3, 4 tragedies together come. All your belief oozes out. You may even throw away the cross, the crescent, or the Krishna. The symbol of Lord whom you have been worshipping and adoring, you throw it through the window. In another 1 week's time, life is all right, business is picking up, partner doesn't want to go, things have become normal. Then the belief comes back again. On the other hand, if it is a faith in you, the faith that moves mountains, the more lashes from the outer world comes to you, the more you hold on to what you have faith in. So believe every one of your life. You have to develop it into your faith. How do you do it? Belief, Vishwas, when reinforced with understanding, it grows to become a faith. I believe in communism. Is one day I have faith in it. It's totally a different one. If it's only a belief in the political ideology, the moment the police or the FBI comes, they say, I am just a student, that's all. You compromise. But if it is a faith philosophy, the more you are crushed, the more you hold on to that faith. Carefully. You must have faith in the higher reality. How did I get it? By the study of the scriptures. Scriptures are the only textbooks that expound the nature of the reality. And with that understanding, when it becomes clearer and clearer, your belief grows to become a faith. Shraddha. One who has mere belief in the Upanishads or the scriptures is not sufficient. It must become a faith. Therefore, then the mind as well as the intellect gets involved in the search. The search is possible only after seeking the knowledge. At this moment you are studying the Bhagavad Gita, you are seeking what the reality is. Thereafter comes your faith, your search for the reality. And the search cannot be steady if your faith is not strong.
So that is the difference between faith and belief. So as Gurudev said, faith is required in the higher reality by the study of the scriptures, logical thinking, and by experiential proof, it becomes strong. So what is the etymology of faith? Shraddhate iti shraddha. That because of which the intellect becomes capable of knowing that truth, which is beyond the perception of the intellect. It makes the intellect dissolve actually in the vision of the truth. Hence that word faith and Arjuna is using, Bhagavan first clarifies what is the meaning of that faith. Because when we say, yes, I have faith, I am doing it with faith, we may not have faith in the absolute. We may have faith only in the process that this will lead to some good. We may not have absolute proper clarity. And that's why Bhagavan clarifies this aspect. So it's the quality of the intellect. And as we said earlier, the vision of life governs the values which affect our desires, thoughts, lead to actions, results, which further strengthens my vision of life. But this vision of life is guided by the faith. If my faith is in the Supreme, Absolute, then my vision of life is I want to discover that. But if I put that faith in something else, which from spiritual standpoint is not faith, it's only belief or trust. But then my vision of life is that if my faith is that money is most important in life, that is my faith. I have faith in money. Then vision of life is to gain maximum money. This whole cycle works driven by that. Like Gurudev said, ideology, socialism, communism, democracy, capitalism, whatever. If that in any of those ideologies I have faith, then my vision of life is governed by that. And hence everybody's vision is guided by their own faith. So one should ask oneself, where is my faith? And what is the difference between that faith and belief? Is it my faith or is it my belief? And strengthen that faith aspect. As he said, if challenges come, difficulties come, will my faith break down? Will I feel helpless or will I hold on more tightly? So the three types of faiths, when we now understand, now we will see three types of faith. Till now we spoke about faith and saying that everybody has faith. There is nobody who doesn't have faith. Only the direction we have to understand. Now it goes on to explain the three types of faith, sattvik, rajasik and tamasik. See the fourth one. Yajante sattvika devam yaksharakṣamsi rajasaha pretan bhutaganaścanye yajante tamasa janaha. So he says those who are sattvik will worship the devatas, yajante sattvika deva. By implication all these, those who worship the Supreme Lord, those who worship the divine forces. We saw in the 16th chapter the divine and the demonic. So those who worship the divine forces, meaning those who try to live those values, or those who through Yagna etc. try to propitiate the devatas. Indra Devata, Varuna Devata, Vayu Devata, all that. They look up to great leaders, people. They try to identify a noble cause, serve that noble cause, or a Sadguru. So the sattvik faith, people who have sattvik faith will worship these. Rajasik ones, yaksha rakshamsi. So yaksha, they are the men of power, they are divine beings. Yaksha, Gandharva, Kinnara, they are like species, higher than human beings. So by implication again, the people who are men of power, position, who are rich, famous, glamorous, any of these. Rajasic people who have faith in this, money, power, position, they will worship this type. And tamasic people, they worship lower powers. Pretam, Bhuta, Ganam, Anye. They worship the Bhuta and Preta. They do black magic, they worship ghosts, they control some spirit, they make them tell them what is the future, all those things, negative forces, criminals, all kind of people. Then tamasic faith when one has, one worships these. Worships in the sense one seeks or one takes help of these. Which is why Bhagavan says to Arjun that just because one says I am doing it with faith, what is the quality of that faith? If the quality of the faith is tamasic, then obviously the person will not reach the higher goal. The quality of the faith has to be sattvik. So when Arjuna is asked the question, what happens to them? Bhagavan doesn't say, okay, if they do it with faith, everything is fine. It's okay, they don't have to worry about spiritual guidance. No. Depends on their quality.
But in those of people, we have faith in change with time. It's not constant, it's keeping on changing.
Correct. It will change. With knowledge, with exposure, it will change in time, no doubt. But the person also should be open to that. And when we know the scriptural guidance, knowledge, or even if we don't get scriptural guidance, some other form the knowledge comes to us, then we should be ready to follow that. There are many who will not follow. They will just hold on to their ideas. Even if we tell them this is the way the scriptures have spoken about it, why don't you do it like this? This is how I've been doing. I think faith is more important than all these ritualistic things. I do it with faith. So a lot of times faith becomes an excuse not to follow something and do it meticulously, and becomes a justification for somehow doing it. And that's why this is important to understand, because how strange it is. When it comes to science, there one doesn't know compromise. Does one say that two hydrogen molecule, one oxygen molecule will make water? It's okay, I will put only one hydrogen molecule. No, one will put not two. So if the scripture is saying do this, then you will get this result. Then that has to be done like that. Then the human intellect starts, because in science the result is tangible. In spirituality the result is not immediately tangible, it is tangible. The result will come. You will see in the life of great people and your own life also, but it requires that kind of consistency and purity and sadhana also. So faith should never become a means to escape from what is given and what vidhi is given. Whole scriptural guidance is actually divided into these two, vidhi and nishedha. What should be done and what should not be done. If we follow that much, our life will change completely. And so here he goes on then to describe that if a person thinks that tamasic faith, in the name of faith, people do so many things. Bhagavan very clearly tells here that these things are not going to be benefiting. The tamasic aspect he is describing. That worship should not become tamasic. Sattvik and rajasik he is already told. And then he is elaborating a little more on the tamasic aspect, where the person actually is torturing the body in the name of faith. So many times we ridicule, we say that, okay, what is this people in the name of faith, they are doing, their faith is encouraging all this. But faith is not, the scripture is not encouraging all this. Bhagavan very clearly says, don't do these things. See what he says here. Ashastra vihitam. तप्यन्ते ये तपो जनाः दम्भाहंकार संयुक्ताः कामरागबलान्विताः दर्शयन्तः शरीरस्थम् भूतग्राममचेतसः मां चैवान्तः शरीरस्थम् तान् विद्यासुरनिश्चयान्. Says Ashtravitam. They do this kind of tapas, which is not required, which is not given in the Shastra. Ghoram, very terrible. Tapyante ye tapojana. They go through this type of tapas and they get tortured. Why do they do it? Damba, ahankara, samyukta. With lot of false pride and ego. Kama, raga, balanita. Or to fulfill some kama, passion, attachment, raga. By the force of that. What are the examples of these? So many examples where we see, like that senselessly one tortures the body. So many places you must have seen. We have seen this. Putting the cart, okay, from the back. Yeah. Cold. So many such things. Whipping oneself. It's torturing. Bhagavan clearly says, Are, you are torturing me, I am the indweller. Mamte vanta sharirastam. Because I am the indweller and I am getting tortured. And he says, Tan vidhi asuran. They are all asur. And many times it is glorified. If you do always, then God gets very happy and then He will bless you. Very clearly He says, nothing like that is required. And please remember, this is not just related to human beings. Bhagavan clearly said that Mamche Vanta Sharirastham. Sharirastha. He not only said Purushastha or Manushyastha. Any body, any living being's body. How is it that that Lord will be then happy with animal sacrifice? Bhagavan doesn't want any animal sacrifice. It is not even appropriate to do. Human being wants to propitiate some lower powers, some devata, some bhuta, peta, pishacha, and then they want something, then they may offer it to them. Supreme Lord doesn't want anything like that. Which parent will want that its own child is offered as a bali to? How is it possible? So we have to understand this tamasik level of worship. So when Bhagavan is answering here, he says very clearly, you may do with faith, but if that faith is tamasik, please understand that is not the appropriate faith. And the person has now no proper scriptural knowledge and when is acting out of tamasic faith, that person will fall. He says Asura. Asura is who? Remember last time we spoke, Asura and Rakshas, what is the difference? Rakshas will misuse the power for one's benefit. But Asura will misuse the power to destroy other people. He says, Dhan Vidhi Asura Nishchaya. Now, this much part when he has spoken about faith, what is the implication in his answer is that the quality of our faith must be sattvik faith. And to get that sattvik faith, different aspects of our life must become sattvik. So he starts from the most basic one, which is food. So clearly Bhagavan speaks about food and sattvik, rajasik, tamasic food. So if nothing I can apply from the Geeta where I feel very subtle, very difficult to must understand, apply, at least at food level I can apply. Till now we may have an excuse, Geeta is very complicated. Now at least at food level, somewhere I can apply. But the strange part is that Because it is subtle, so many things that I feel they are subtle, then I don't apply. And when it comes to simple things like food, speech, because it is simple, but I am attached to food, etc., I still don't apply. So ultimately, I don't end up applying neither the subtle nor the simple. Because people start saying, tell me one practical thing that we can do. Okay, start eating sattvik food. Nah, that is difficult. Okay, give up attachment. Very difficult. Take the name of the Lord. Most difficult. Any suggestion one gives for sadhana, the mind has an excuse not to follow. But Bhagavan is out of compassion. He is giving full guidance. Just imagine Krishna Bhagavan is giving guidance about food. The Lord of the universe is telling what to eat, what not to eat, what will be the effect of what. So all this, the tamasik torture is sleeping on the thorns, nails, beating oneself, piercing the face, dragging the vehicle, standing in water, in hot sun when standing there. So many, there are just a few examples. One just tortures one body. Tapas, which is meant for self-mastery, is different from this torture. You will go on to explain tapas also ahead, sattvik, rajasik, tamasik. Not sattvik, body level, speech level and mind level. Tapas of all the three. This is the tamasik tapas. Where one is torturing oneself in the name of faith. So now we come to ahar. Aharastvapi sarvasya Trividho bhavati priyah Yagnas tapastatha dhanam Tesham vedamimam shruno. So ahar is at the body level food. Yagna is at the mind level. Tapas at the body, mind, speech level, all the three. And dhanam, sattvik, rajasik, tamasik. So Bhagavan is going to give these four. Ahar, yajna, tapa and dana. These four, if we transform into sattvik, our faith will become sattvik. Or we should say rather, we will become sattvik enough to have faith in the Supreme. So how to transform my faith from tamasik, rajasik to sattvik? These are four aspects. Interesting thing is, if this remains tamasic, faith cannot be sattvik. If my dana is tamasic, if my yagna is tamasic, if my tapas is tamasic, if my ahar is tamasic, faith cannot become sattvik. So all the four must become sattvik. Now you see sattva. Before we go into the three types of food, the food that we eat, in the Chandogya Upanishad it is said that annamayam hi mana. Mind is byproduct of food. See, body byproduct of food we can understand. Mind is byproduct of food. The subtle essence that we take, that essence goes to become the mind. That's why I say ahara shuddha sattva shuddhi. If we purify the food, mind will become purified. Sattva there means the mind. Why is it so? Because the food that we eat is divided into three parts. The gross part becomes the body. The subtle part becomes the mind. And the waste part comes up. The subtle part of the food, if you remember in the 15th chapter, Bhagavan said, Somo Bhutva Rasapmuta. Bhagavan's grace it is that the sun nourishes the earth and then the moon also nourishes the plants. Everything we remember in that, Bhagavan said, is Narayana. That subtle essence of the food which comes through the grace, through the nature, the attitude with which it is cooked, with the bhav in which it is served, with the mindset with which it is eaten, it all affects our mind. apart from what is the inherent quality of that food. So the inherent quality of certain food is sattvik. Fruits, vegetables is sattvik. Inherent quality of certain food is rajasik. It will create excitement, spices, chili, all that. Inherent quality of certain food is tamasik, stale food, non-vegetarian food, all that is inherently tamasik. So the effect of that on the body and the mind will be according to that. But apart from that, there is also the attitude and many other factors which constitute the subtle part of the food. That subtle part of the food becomes our mind. And hence he describes now what he is actually saying is using the preference we have, we can understand our mindset. For example, if I feel like I must eat something very spicy, using that I can understand, oh, my mind is in a rajasic state right now. Because directly it may not be possible to understand the mind, our mind, we are not trained in that way. So many times we are escaping from the mind. So at least through that craving we understand, okay, mind is like right now in rajasic state. And the other way also. When we are in a rajasic state, we are craving for rajasic food. And when we are eating rajasic food, it is affecting and increasing rajoguna in the mind. So the connection of the food and the mind is so close. As what we eat affects our mind, and what is the mind state, that type of food we crave. So that's why ahara shuddhi, when we say, what is ahara shuddhi? First and foremost, the food must be sattvik food. Now please remember this, we are saying in terms of a spiritual seeker. Don't go home and immediately change the menu. Only salads and soups will be available from nowadays. If you want, you can eat dry fruits, nuts, everything else out. Different age groups require different types of food. On that, but try and make as much as sattvik food as possible. That's the point. Second, the temperament of the cook must be cheerful and happy. Keep the cook happy. Whether it is homemaker or an actual cook. If that person cooks in agitation, the agitation of that person's mind will influence that food. And it will go into our personality. It will affect whether we like it or not, whether we believe it or not, it is a fact. Now science will prove it in some time maybe. So the temperament of the cook must be cheerful. Money earned through right means must be used to buy the food. That is dhana shuddhi. The karma with which that, the karma associated with the money influences the person. No, somebody who believes all this. No choice. Definitely it affects. Karmic connections are there. Knowingly, unknowingly. That's why we keep saying every day, knowingly, unknowingly, when I may have made a mistake, please forgive. But from where that food is coming, with which money it has been bought, whether that food was bought with the money earned with righteous means or unrighteous means. Even a person like Chanakya said that. Not a spiritual truth, he said a material truth. He says, Anyayena uparjitam nitam dashavarshani tishtati. That wealth which is accumulated by doing adharma will be there for 10 years. Prapte tu ekadashe varshe samulamcha vinashyati. In the 11th year, it will destroy even your principal amount which was earned possibly with righteous means. Everything will get destroyed. So the power of adharma, the impact of adharma, different people have spoken about that. So the money with which it is bought must be the righteous one. Food must be served with love in clean utensils. The attitude with which it is served also makes a difference. Lovingly it is given, with indifference it is given, with anger it is given. By insulting it is given, khar. It will have an impact on the mind. So many different attitudes with which the food is served. And it must not have hair, dust, etc. This I am not saying. This is there, Ahara Shuddhi, this is there in the Vaishnava Sampradaya. I think Madhvacharya is. Yeah. Madhvacharya gave these 5 points. Ahara Shuddhi. So, the idea here is to understand that food has a very, very big impact on the mind. And if we maintain Ahara Shuddhi, it will help us tremendously. So the preference of the food indicates the quality of the mind, as I said. Sattvik person will like sattvik food and sattvik food helps to make the mind sattvik. So they both have a connection. Now what is that sattvik food? See, the 8th verse. This 8th verse is worth memorizing. Before you eat the food, suppose you lift French fries, chant the verse. Ayu Sattva Bala Arogya Sukha Priti Vivardhana. Will they do any of this? No. Thank you very much. How take an apple and say, will this do? Ayu, yes. Sattva, yes. Bala, yes. Arogya, yes. Very good. Eat. So memorize this verse. Next class, everyone will chant. But in a random test. Only one verse you have to memorize. Ayu Sattva Bala Arogya Sukha Priti Vivardhana Rasya Snigdha Stira Hridya Ahara Sattvika Priyaha. People who love Sattva Guna, they who are in sattvic state of mind, they will prefer this type of food. What will that food, what is the impact of that food? First line is the impact, second line is the quality of the food. What is the impact of sattvic food? Ayuhu, it will increase longevity. Sattva, increase Sattva Guna, nourishment of intelligence, discrimination, subtlety, all that. Ayu, Sattva, Bala, strength. Arogya, health. Ayu, Sattva, Bala, Arogya, Sukha, makes one happy. Preeti invokes love in us. French fries makes me very happy. And I have deep love for them. So it is satisfying 2 criteria out of 6. I can eat. No, sukha means for whom? Not for the tongue. For the body and stomach. It should give sukha to the stomach. And then of course the heart, no doubt. But stomach. Stomach is going to roll, then what is the point? Sukha Priti Vivardhana. To evoke love in us. Meaning make us more sattvik, whereby the mind is filled with universal oneness, where one is not feeling more egoistic, rajasik, exclusive, not that. So makes the mind sharp, alert, increases the memory, purifies the mind. These are all the impact of sattvic food. Like badam when we eat, they say no always. If somebody has less memory power, what they say? Badam. If somebody forgets very often, what they say? Badam bhigo ke khao. 4 badam, subh. When we were children, they used to give us one tonic, Shankha Pushpi. Memory increasing. So like that, there are food which will increase. Brahmi, there is a Brahmi juice also comes. So food which will increase this sattva guna in the person. What are those types of food? Rasyaha, juicy, organic food, fruits, vegetables, which are very juicy, which have fiber, which are good for the body digestion. Rasyaha, snigdha, oily and lubricating, ghee. We should just drink 2 spoons of ghee every day. In research, they will keep going up and down. Suddenly they will say ghee is not required. After some time they will say ghee is the most important. Then after 10 years they will say cow ghee is very, very good. that they let them keep doing. As long as we are taking this to lubricate our body well and we are doing proper exercise, workout, that's all is required. So rasyaha snigdha, even dry fruits etc. they will have oil. Badam has oil. So rasya snigdha sthira, which stabilize the body. They don't create, they don't throw the body into an unstable state. Like white sugar will do that to the body. It will go into unnatural state, the body. The processed white sugar, because the chemicals etc. which are there in that, makes the body very unstable. So rasya snigdha sthira and vidya, which don't weaken the heart, which strengthen the heart. Those type of food, or which are desirable, agreeable to the body. This is the quality of the food. So fresh fruits, dry fruits, vegetables, nuts, pulses, all these will help. Even some of the cereals, they stabilize the body. So those who want to lose weight, if they keep eating only fruits till morning, you see the difference. When the lot of hard work is to be done, then many times one finds that a cereal meal gives that stability because it slowly releases, it digests slowly. So there's steady release of energy. Fruit digests in 20 minutes, very fast. So again one feels slow, again one feels hungry. So like that there are stabilizing foods, there are unstabilizing foods, the food which will create sattva guna in the mind. So this is the shloka. Ayu sattva balarogya sukha priti vivardhanaha rasya snigdha sthira hridya ahara sattvika priya. Now who is the sattvik bhokta? Bhojanam we are seeing, but very important is the sattvik priya. Who is the sattvik priya person who is eating bhokta? Eats appropriate quantity, neither less nor overeating. Does not eat in a hurried manner. And very important, sit down and eat. And sit down and drink water. You know, research has shown that you should not stand and drink water. One has to only sit and drink water. They have connected that to the digestive system and all that. And the pressure on the stomach and so many things they wrote in that one article. That one should sit down and eat, sit down and drink water especially. One should be aware of the effect of that on the body and then take. Not take because everybody else is doing. Does it suit me? Does it not suit me? What kind of reaction it has in my body? One should become aware. Eat with a calm and cheerful mind. Whatever may be the worries, that much time just let go of all and eat with a calm and cheerful mind. Because then only the digestion is proper, then only the mind is more, the body is more benefited from that food, and the food does not become toxic. That clip that we sent yesterday, Times of India clip. What did it say? One of the things it said was this only. Mind must be calm, then only diabetes can be controlled, otherwise it can't be controlled. How much in hurry we eat the food. Nowadays, so we are eating on the move. There are outlets which are called grab and rub. This was coming from Bangalore to here. Where we give the boarding pass to board. Just outside there only. There's one small outlet. This much only it is. It's called grab and fly. Chai is available, samosa is available, something is available. Grab and fly. Because how much hurry is there in life? So eat in unhurried manner, cheerful mind, and dedicates it to the Lord and prays before the food. It is a sattvik bhokta. that may this food help me to serve the Lord, serve the society. May the impact of the food be that it will increase sattva guna in the mind. Thank you, O Lord. With gratitude one prays, not saying that, O Lord, thank you for today's food and give me tomorrow also. One feels genuinely the gratitude. When we eat food in our ashram, we generally say, Annadata Sukhi Bhava. Or we say, Annadata Tatha Bhakta Pakakarta Sukhi Bhava. So the person who is giving us food, may that person be happy. The person who is eating, may all those people be happy. Bhakta. And Pakakarta, one who is cooking. May the cook also be happy. All should be happy. So this is sattvik bhokta. Today they have it in the name of mindfulness. There's a big book, Mindful Eating. How to eat mindfully. How to chew mindfully. Most of the time we don't chew only the food. So what are the practices of a mindful eater? You see. So starts with silence, prayer and gratitude. That will make the mind calm and quiet. Engage all the six senses. Meaning the smell of the food, the taste of the food, the color, the look, the touch, and when we eat, the sound, all that, plus our mind. So we eat with all the six senses. And the enjoyment of that food also, the level of enjoyment is different. Rather than we just eating with the half the time what are we doing? Eating food, watching television. So our senses are not engaged in the food, they are engaged in something else. But when we eat with all the six senses, use smaller utensils and serve moderately. Savor small bites and chew thoroughly. All this gets compromised when we are not eating mindfully. We somehow eat and swallow, we don't taste properly, so we don't feel the satisfaction. Keep away from all distractions, TV, phone, etc. Don't skip meals. Small meals, longer duration. Shorter duration, small meals. Eat a plant-based and healthy diet, very important for even environment. How much the environment is affected by the food? Non-vegetarian food is the second biggest contributor of global warming. So mindful eating one has to do. These are simple practices which we can use and nothing will happen. It's our mind which makes us feel, I must eat in a rush, there's so much to do. If you sit and eat mindfully, it will take only 5 minutes, 7 minutes to finish a meal. Even if we say full proper meal, 10 minutes max. Only once in a day we eat that also full meal. Where breakfast is not full meal, dinner is not full meal. So if one just tunes up the mind saying, I will just follow this, come what me, 10 minutes, 15 minutes out from everything else, eat properly. What is the rajasik food? Katvam lalavanatyushna Tikshna ruksha vidahinaha Ahara rajasasyeshtaha Dukkha shokamaya pradaha. This katu, bitter, amla is pungent, lavana, very salty, ati ushna, very hot and spicy, tikshna is sharp, tear producing, ruksha, dry, vidahina, burning, ahara rajasasya ishtaha. One who is rajasic will like this type of food. What is the result of this? Dukkha, shoka, amaya, pradaha. It will give these three. Dukkha, sorrow, shoka, grief, amaya is disease. So everything that we like is destroyed. Whatever we like is rajasik only. People like chocolate. First word here is bitter. Bitter chocolate. Karela also is bitter. So bitter here means not just by taste what is bitter. Again, the impact on the body is like that. Some things bitter are good for the body. But what will it do to the body, the type of bitter which we eat just for the taste part of it, then that may create, like the chocolate example. Again, it has sugar, maybe so many things which will, in small quantity may be fine, but so much more one takes. Rajoguna, one quality of Rajoguna is no balance, so extreme, excessiveness. So Katvam, pungent, very khatta, very salty, especially that salt, what we call that iodized salt. So the salt which is natural salt, Sindham, salt and white sugar, very deep addictions of the body. Needs to find alternates for that. So they are rajasic. See, salt has one property. What will salt do? It will dehydrate. If we put salt on salad, what happens? Full water comes out. Water. Which is the reason why the salt is to be avoided. Or less salt. Basic minimum salt is required, that's enough. Too much salt we put sometimes. So that is rajasic. Salty food, chips and all of that, so much salt it has. Sattvik food, also how to make rajasic and eat, we should learn from human beings. And make it tamasik also for us. Fruit is such a sattvik food. Uske upar what we will put? Chaat masala. Very good. Transform a sattvik food into rajasic food. And then add milk in that. Keep it overnight and eat it next day morning. Now what has it become? Fully tamasik. But I am eating fruit. So it's not just the fruit, how I eat it, the time duration in which I eat, all that matters so much. So Katvam Lalavna, Tushna, Tikshna, Ruksha, sharp and tear producing. Some people are that, mirchi they will eat. And I used to study in Vedanta course. There is normal food, then there is bland food. Bland food will have only little salt and haldi. Nothing more it will have. No, what do you call that? Nothing, no seasoning, nothing. It's only plain. So I used to sit and go take and food and eat. And in front of me, one gentleman will come and sit. This much chili, green chili. Minimum 50 green chilies. One meal, mein, 50. Even today that person is there. He eats 50 green chilies per meal. And he will take that, put it in the bread, put it in the sabji, put it in the dal, put it in chas also. And few are left, he will eat with the roti, sabji, one mirchi extra. And you should see his face, fully red. He's actually red, his face become red. And he's crying also. He's eating. And he eats. Amazing. So one day I asked him, sir, this much chili, does it not affect you? He says, my father lived for 100 years and he ate chili. So I am also eating chili. I said, but you are crying, tears are coming. He said, that's okay, chalta hai. There's a price to pay for everything. He is eating. He actually is feeling tikha, but he is eating. So tear producing. Dry, not having any gravy, nothing. Very dry food. And burning in the stomach creates acidity. Our system is supposed to be alkaline. By constantly eating rajasic food, it becomes acidic. So rajasic food cooked by one with a money motive wants to extract more money from us, not with love, that is sattvik food. Served with anger, eaten in a bad mood, and which is made to harm others, that's the rajasic food. The impact that the food has to be rajasic on the mind. And who is a rajasic bhokta? Eats food in hurry or irregularly, eats food while standing and walking, overeats or undereats, doesn't eat properly on time, without chewing properly, just one swallows, eats to please the tongue, not for the good, but for the benefit of the body, just for the 2.5 inches of the tongue, and uncaring about the effects on the body, mind, and tongue must be satisfied. Who cares whether it is good for the body or not? So that is the rajasic bhokta. Now, when I have rajasic food, I become a rajasic bhokta. When I am rajasic bhokta, I will want only rajasic food. Not that rajoguna is not, should not be there, or rajasic food is completely bad. See, nowhere in the Gita Bhagavan is saying sattvik food is good, rajasic food is bad, tamasik food is worst. He is only saying this is what is the impact of rajasic food on the body, this is what are the types of rajasic food. Now it is up to us how we choose, what we choose, what combination we do also is our choice. Now comes the tamasik food. Yatayamam gatarasam bhuti paryushitam chayat uchishthamapi chamedhyam bhojanam tamasapriyam. So one yama is 3 hours. One prahar is
6 hours. 3 hours.
yeah 3 hours. 8 prayer in one day. 8 prayer in one day. 3 hours is one. So yatayama means the food which has been cooked and it has crossed 3 hours. Yatayama. Only 3 hours. It's not about olden times. The impact of the food is the same. In fact, in today's age, the food deteriorates faster because of the pot and the pollution, and the quality of food we have also is terrible.
They are having tamasik.
We are from, that's why I'm saying from scriptural standpoint, so the whole impact is different only. All of us know medically also, are they saying or not? The longer you keep the food, the faster the nutrient is getting destroyed. So then what to do? As much one can eat fresh. Even fruits one cuts and takes, then it is gone. In 20 minutes, 15 minutes it oxidizes. It will produce more gas in the body. So one cannot cut the fruit and take in dabba and eat after 4 hours. Better it is to eat fresh. As much one can eat fresh, that much better. So yatayama. See, we may say this is impractical in today's context, etc. But what it is, actually is a question of time. After one big study comes and all that, people will say change the lifestyle and everything, then one will find ways and means to fit it within 3 hours and eat as much fresh as we can. So yatayamam gatarasam, whole essence and vitality is gone from that food. Puti is foul smelling. Paryushitam is kept overnight, will become stale. Uchishtam is left over. Amedhyam, not fit for offering to the Lord in a worship or any such ritual. That type of food is called as tamasik food. Many times we keep overnight and eat. Sometimes one feels also, when we keep overnight, the taste becomes better. How much generally we do that? When we were children also we were taught like that. Next day morning you eat. So stale, putrefied, fermented. Actually fermented comes under this category. It is kept overnight. And we may say idli is the best breakfast. Technically, it is not best breakfast. It is fermented and made khatta like that. It is acidic, completely acidic. So the first thing that I am eating in the morning, if it is idli, I put that much of acid in the body. That's why one has to, there's a particular way in which it is mixed. Sometimes we mix it then and there in the morning, not kept it overnight. But when we like some type of taste, then we keep it overnight, it becomes khatta and that khatta idli one eats. So different impact each one will have. So one has to find out how I can reduce tamasik and rajasik and increase the sattvik or balance it in some way. Who is the tamasik bhokta who overeats or irregularly in a lethargic manner without any cleanliness, doesn't take care of the vessel's cleanliness, food cooked cleanliness, eating cleanliness, nothing. Lying down and eating. And eats what is harmful. All that alcohol, meat, tamasik food is all this. So, impact of that food also on the mind and the body. The faster, the sattvik food is that which will come out of the body fastest. Tamasic food is that which will come out of the body last. It takes long time to come out. That creates more toxins in the body. So tamasik bhukta. So now three aspects we saw: sattvik food, rajasic food, tamasic food, and the impact that the food has on our mind. And when the mind is in that state, that type of food it craves for. A person who has understood this then can fashion one's life according to that. Now it goes on to Yagna. Yagna is, all of you know, in the third chapter we spoke about, a cooperative endeavor for a selfless cause is called as a Yagna. Now here he says, what is a sattvik Yagna? Aphala kankshibhir yajnaha विधिद्रष्टो य इज्यते यष्टव्यमेवेति मनः समाधाय स सात्विकः. So though it is a yajna, it can be sattvik, rajasic, tamasic based on the attitude. So what is a sattvik yajna? That which helps to integrate the body, mind and intellect in a selfless way. It also that the mantras are chanted properly, it's the science of sound, it creates that proper vibration, the intonations. Now Ganapati Atharva Shiva, we are going to chant for 3 people, 21 times, 1008 times, it will be on 13th of September. Down here, morning 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. The power of that chanting with the intonations is very different. You come and experience it, you will see. I told you about tonoscope, no? I'll just show you one small video, which is not about Vedic chanting. We have to find some videos of Vedic chanting also, but how the sound creates that impact and particles, how they arrange themselves, you see. Very nice video it is. Take some time to load. We'll see in some time. So the idea here is when it is when the yajna is done with proper chanting, with the right intonations, the mantras are chanted, offerings are done. That is a formal ritual. If every action that I do dedicated to the Lord, then we see in the daily actions of ours, daily duties of ours, that selfless attitude is that which integrates the body, mind and the intellect. Done with the spirit of detachment, with purity of mind and focus. It has environmental benefits also. The yajna as a ritual has all these impact. And it helps to connect with the divine cosmic forces, the devatas. So what is the attitude in which it should be done? So he says, aphalakangshabhir yagna. When we do any action dedicated to a higher purpose, then that every action itself becomes a yagna. So one is a ritual, one is the daily duties. Both of them to be done with what type of attitude? Selflessly. Aphalakangshabhir yagna. Do it because not I want it, because the society must benefit. Maximum people should benefit. Aphalakangshabhir yagna. Vidhi drashtovya ijjate. Properly done as per the vidhi. How it should be done. No compromise in the vidhi. Yashtavyam eva iti manah. This should be done because it's my duty. It needs to be done. This is the need of the hour. Nobody has to tell us. We feel that this should be done, this is my duty, this will help the family, this will help the company, this will help the society. And I do it as a duty. Whether people recognize it, praise it, appreciate it doesn't matter. One does it, yashtavyam, because this needs to be done. Samadhaya. In this way, one who has taken a resolve that this is my offering to the Lord or to a noble cause. I am doing it selflessly at the same time with the vidhi. See, Bhagavan is very clear. Just because I am selfless doesn't mean I can do it in any way. Must do it properly with the proper vidhi, how it is described. Nicely it should be done. Then that yagna or that action is called as a sattvik yagna. So more of this we will take up in our next session, rajasik and tamasik. So what is two announcements I have to make. One is that today is Janmashtami, so wish you a very happy Janmashtami. And evening today we have the program, 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock midnight. Krishna Janma happens in the midnight, so first time we are doing it here in Chinmaya Mission in South Mumbai, we are doing it as an evening program. So please do come. We have in the evening Vishnu Sahasranam Puja we have. We will be chanting Vishnu Sahasranam Stotram, and the offering will happen through the Stotram, not with the one name. So 120 verses are there, a very beautiful composition. Bhishma Pitama gave the Vishnu Sahasranam by lying on the bed of arrows. Praise Shri Krishna. So 9 to 9:40 is that, and then we will have some talk, and then Sughoshananji we will do the Bhajan Sadhya, where he will do on Krishna Leela. So the life of Shri Krishna, as given in the Dashama Skandha Bhagavatam, based on that the Krishna Leela. So it is called Sangeet Pravachan. So there are songs tracing the journey of Krishna's life, and in between a little bit of explanation, commentary. He does it very nicely. And we will conclude with the Arati. At 12 o'clock when Krishna Janma happens, we will conclude with the Arati. So nice way to express our gratitude to the Lord that we have been able to do the Geeta and we are going to complete that soon. So please do come and bring anybody who is interested. Everybody can come and participate. And if anybody wants to be a Yajma, then please contact Sudhakaji. Second announcement is 13th September we are doing the chanting of Ganapati Acharva Shirsha. I am doing it mainly because the whole Geeta course that we have done, Ganeshji's grace also that without any obstacles it has gone through beautifully, we are going to complete. So I am doing it as an expression of gratitude to the Lord. So we said 50 people will come together, so we are learning also, there are many people who are learning Ganapati Acharva Shirsha, they will come together and we will chant 21 times. So this is a book which is the commentary of Ganapati Acharva Shirsha Upanishad, and it has a CD in which the chanting also is there. So one can learn the meaning also, and it's very simple chanting. Ganapati Acharva Shirsha is not so complicated. So that is available here. If anybody wants, they can buy this book. And also, if anybody still wants to be a chanter, one wants to learn and take part, then please register. Again with Sudhakaji. And you can come that day morning, 13th morning, 6 to 8 is the time. And we will be doing with some 11 different dravyas, the Abhishek of Lord Ganesha. So these two programs immediately coming up, please come together. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah Hari Om